The year is 2042. The world is a very different place than it was just a few decades ago. Climate change has ravaged the planet, and many major cities have been abandoned. The few remaining humans live in small, isolated communities, constantly on guard against the dangers of the outside world. In one such community, a group of friends are gathered around a campfire, telling stories. The conversation turns to the old abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. It's said to be haunted by the ghosts of the workers who died there when it collapsed during a storm. One of the friends, a young woman named Sarah, is skeptical of the stories. She's never believed in ghosts, and she doesn't think there's anything to be afraid of. But the others are more convinced. They tell her about the strange noises that have been heard coming from the factory, and the dark figures that have been seen lurking in the shadows. Sarah is starting to feel uneasy. She doesn't want to believe in ghosts, but she can't deny that the stories are unsettling. She decides to go for a walk to clear her head. She walks through the woods towards the factory, the moonlight casting eerie shadows on the ground. As she gets closer, she can hear the sound of machinery running. She stops, her heart pounding. Could it be true? Is the factory really haunted? She takes a deep breath and walks towards the building. The door is unlocked, and she steps inside. The air is thick with dust and cobwebs. She can see the machinery in the distance, but it's all dark and silent. Sarah starts to walk through the factory, her footsteps echoing off the walls. She feels a chill run down her spine. She's starting to think that maybe the others were right. Maybe this place is haunted. She rounds a corner and sees a figure standing in the shadows. It's tall and thin, and it's wearing a long, white sheet. Sarah's heart stops. She can't move. She can't breathe. The figure starts to move towards her. Sarah screams and runs. She doesn't know where she's going, but she has to get away. She runs through the factory, the figure close behind her. She finally reaches the door and bursts outside. She doesn't stop running until she's back in the safety of her community. The next day, Sarah tells her friends what happened. They don't believe her at first, but she knows what she saw. She knows that the factory is haunted. Sarah never goes back to the factory, but she never forgets what she saw that night. She knows that the ghosts of the factory are still there, waiting for their next victim.